The shadows in my closet. Have you ever had the feeling that something was lurking in the dark, watching you, waiting for the right moment to show itself? A shadow in the corner of your eye that vanishes as soon as you try to focus on it? Or maybe it's not just your imagination running wild. What if I told you that one night I faced something I couldn't explain? A shadow that wasn't just in my closet but seemed to follow me wherever I went. Stick around, because this is a story you will want to hear. And who knows, you might find yourself questioning whether you've ever truly been alone in the dark. It all started when I moved into my first apartment. It was a modest one-bedroom unit in an older building on the outskirts of town. The kind of place where the paint on the walls had begun to chip, and the floors creaked with every step. But it was cheap. And for a 23-year-old trying to make it on their own, that was enough. Do you remember your first apartment? That feeling of independence, mixed with just a bit of nervous excitement? For me, it felt like the start of a new chapter in life, full of possibilities. But little did I know, the apartment came with more than just the usual creaky floorboards. On my first night, as I lay in bed trying to drift off to sleep, I heard something strange. A faint tapping sound, like fingernails lightly scratching against the wood. At first, I thought it was just the wind or maybe the building settling. But then the sound came again. Only this time it was louder. Have you ever heard something that made you question if it was real? Something that made your skin crawl, but it couldn't quite explain why? I glanced over at the closet door. It was slightly ajar. But that wasn't unusual. Sometimes doors don't fully close, especially in old apartments. I tried to brush it off, but the tapping continued, growing more persistent. The next day, I tried to dismiss this strange experience. Maybe it was just the nerves of moving into a new place. But then the tapping returned. Only this time, I saw something else. As I lay in bed, I turned my head to glance at the closet, and for a split second, I swore I saw something move. A shadow, long and thin, stretching across the floor. What would you do if you saw that? Would you freeze, or would you spring out of bed, desperate to escape? I blinked hard, thinking it was just a trick of the light. But no, it was there. I could feel it. Like the air had suddenly thickened and the room felt colder. The shadow lingered in the corner of the closet. Does that ever happen to you? When you feel like something is watching you even though you can't see it? I finally mustered up, took courage to get out of bed and investigate. As I slowly approached the closet, I couldn't shake the feeling that something, or someone, was hiding just behind the door. My hand trembled as I reached for the knob, and with a deep breath I opened it. But inside, there was nothing. How do you explain something like that? Something so real, so tangible, yet when you go to confront it, it's gone. I shrugged it off as a paranoia, but the doubt lingered. As days passed, the strange occurrences only became more frequent. It started small items misplaced, the occasional flicker of the lights, but the feeling of being watched was always there. One evening, I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone when I heard it. A whisper, soft like the wind. It came from the direction of the closet. Have you ever heard a voice when you were completely alone? That gut-wrenching sensation that somehow someone else is in the room with you? I tried to convince myself it was just the wind. Maybe the building's old pipes made odd noises. But then the whisper came again, this time louder, more distinct. Help me. I froze. Can you imagine how terrifying that would be? Hearing a voice coming from your closet in your own home when you were all alone? I got up to check the closet, but this time I wasn't sure if I even wanted to open it. Something deep inside me told me I didn't want to know what was waiting there. But curiosity, dangerous as it is, got the better of me. I opened the closet door slowly, heart racing, braced cough in my throat. There was nothing there. But the voice didn't stop. It became more insistent, more demanding. Help me, came again, each time with a greater sense of urgency. It was as if the shadow in the closet was trying to get my attention. One night, I decided to confront it. I sat on the floor of the living room, staring at the closet door, waiting for the next sound, the next whisper, and sure enough, it came. The door creaked open by itself. What would you do in this moment? Would you get up and run, or would you face it, even though every fiber of your being screamed for you to leave? I stood up, heart pounding, and slowly walked toward the closet. As I reached out to touch the door, the whispering stopped, and for a briefest moment I thought I was safe. But then I heard it, a scraping sound like nails dragging across wood. I looked into the closet and saw it, a shadow. Not just any shadow, but one that was tall and looming, its edges sharp and defiant, as if it had a shape, a presence. It was staring right at me. I couldn't take it any longer. I had to get answers. The next day, I went to the landlord and asked her about the history of the building. Her face went pale when I mentioned the strange happenings. She hesitated, then told me something that made my blood run cold. She explained that the apartment had once belonged to a young woman who had gone missing years ago, under mysterious circumstances. There were whispers that she had been trapped in the building, unable to escape. Could it be? Could this shadow, this whispering voice, belong to her? I never stayed in that apartment again. I moved out as soon as I could, but to this day, I can't shake the feeling that I was never really alone. What do you think? Was it a ghost trapped in the apartment? Or was it just my mind playing tricks on me? Have you ever experienced something like this yourself? What about you? Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had an experience that made you question the world around you? Something that made you wonder if there's more to life than what we can see? Let me know your stories in the comments below. And remember, if you ever feel like something is watching you, maybe, just maybe, it's not just your imagination. Sometimes the things we can't see are the most dangerous.